Hello everybody and welcome to the 4th episode of Coaster School. Today I am going to be starting my RMC hybrid. Now for this hybrid I'm going to be doing a steel Lifthill found on Zadra, Iron Gwazi, Goliath, or Great America. Any of those rides, they all utilize the RMC steel lift. So a little update on what's going to happen during this RMC project is I'm going to be doing a live stream doing the supports. I'm going to be doing the Lifthill today. And then I'm going to do the layout tomorrow or later today or whenever I do it. And then the live stream should be happening sometime on a weekend. So most likely this weekend, which will work out good. So let's get started. So when you start, you're going to have a station that's around at least 6 because RMCs do have 6 cars, 12 rows on their trains. So that's the recommended size. Unless you're going for the smaller RMC, then you can have like 4 or 5, just to make it look more to scale with how tall you're actually building it, so that it doesn't look like it just has a huge train. And then we're going to be using a couple of these pieces. So I just kind of laid them out for you. All of these for the footers, and then all of that for the wood and the steel lift. So for the steel lift, I don't actually use steel. I know it sounds weird, but I use the wood ones because if you look at this, let me just search up metal. If you look at the metal frames, they're super skinny. You can see that. There's a difference. They're super skinny and they look very slim on the Lifthill, which doesn't look as good as the wood. Plus, you can't really tell the difference between the wood and the steel when you're like this. They both look like steel. So what I'm going to do now is I just made it take a little bit of a turn out the station into a small airtime hill and start up the climb. So when you start the climb, you're just going to have some low to the ground. Well, you can go straight into the steep depending on your situation, but I would recommend always having the chain go on to the second steepness. So this guy right here, like the 45-degree angle, that's what you should have when you're building a steel lift like this. So then what I did is I just put the ramps inside of each other to get that little fence up along the side, and then I perfectly aligned this lift with that. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to build up with these pieces until I get to the desired height that I want. In this case, I'm just going to do around I am severely failing. Okay. Just going to build up to the height that I want. I'm going to go taller, like that. Just going to get my smaller piece, and then I'm going to get this one, the little flat fence. Just place that like that, and then I'm going to build the other side straight up just to match that on this side, and let me do that quick. Alright, so now that I went ahead and did the other side, I'm going to go along with these pieces, these ones for the bottom, and I'm going to go up on both sides just like this until I get to the top. So I'm just going to place these all the way up. Just like that. And then once you get to the top part that has these ones, you're going to grab the smaller ramps just to match the ones that are above it. And you place them just like that. And then you get these little beams here. And you lower them down and just place them along like that. And then you're going to place them on the bottom of these frames and the top, just like that. See how I did that? So I did one that connects the top two, and I did one that connects the bottom two. So I'm just going to do that all the way down until I get to the bottom. Okay, now that I have gotten all of those cross ties in, I'm just going to place a couple more at the top where I need them, like that. And then I'm going to be getting these little posts, just place them like that to complete the boxy structure that we're kind of going for here. So I want to make sure it looks very boxy, yeah, there we go. So now we have that nice, and it curves up into the flat, comes down, and then starts going down into our drop, which is perfect. So now what we're going to do is we're just going to get more posts, place them along there, and then we're going to start doing our drop. But before that, we need to do 2 more things, which is this little side railing. This is optional. It's just for extra decoration and extra just in general. So if you want to do it, cool. If you don't, that's fine. I don't care. I'm just going to go ahead and do that along the top, and then I'm going to stop it right when I reach the top, like that. And then I'm going to go ahead whoa, I'm sorry. I'm going to go ahead and track all of this Lifthill. Now I'm at the top, so I'm just going to do a little, and I was not using a chain lift. This is great. Let's do a chain lift, shall we? Go to the top, and I'm going to try and get the track to perfectly line up with all of the little cross ties that I put in here. Just going to do that. And then I'm going to stop the chain about right there. So like right when it starts coming down, I'm going to stop the chain, and now we're going to do the drop. So the key part to doing RMC steel lifts is to do the lift before you do the track, because then the lift can be perfect and exactly how you want it, compared to other times where it'll be off and it won't look good because all the track isn't aligned perfectly with what you need. So I'm going to go ahead here, just going to make the drop. And then a good thing about these ones is when you start coming down, which I'm going to go down here, you can go like this and you can rotate it like that, so they're zigzagging, and you do that all the way until you hit the ground. Don't worry about if it doesn't line up perfectly with the ground. Like, see that? It's one block off the ground. Doesn't matter, because we'll fix that later. And then just build up, intervaling so that this side gets a straight beam, just like that. Just go back and forth until you get all the way up, and then stop. And then you do this side, just gonna go like that, and then we're gonna do that for all the sides, and then I'll show you in a second. Okay, so now that we've done that, we're just going to get these pieces, and we're going to link them up right there. And now we have a steel lift that looks like this. And if you want to, you can lower this down. I'm actually going to lower this part right here down one more so that the drop can be a little bit steeper. So I'm just going to do that real quick, and I'll explain to you why in a second. Okay, so now I did all of that just to move this down one, and now you can see how those two ramps connect just like that. So this one going down lines up with that one, and that should lead to a pretty good drop. So now I'm doing the most important part, which is go down with the drop. So I'm just going to go into normal, and I'm going to try and trace it as best as I can. It's okay if it's a little bit off. I'm probably going to have to delete this one so that it lines up with the rest of the drop, okay? I'm just going to try and trace the drop as best as I can. And then I'm going to start coming down at my turning point there and go all the way even out. Alright, so there's my nice little drop. And then I can continue with wood from here. And now for another difficult part, this takes a little bit of practice. What you're going to do is you're going to get a vertical launch and just kind of place it around right here. And then what you're going to do is you're going to turn off this little check mark. It says auto smooth yaw and pitch. You're going to turn that off. And then what that does is it makes it go side to side like this instead of flowing with the track and actually turning the node. So now what we're going to do is we're going to align it so that this part goes right up against this rail. See how that lines up just like that? And we're going to place it, and we're going to turn this back on. We're going to build down here. So our goal is to connect this with this and make it look like a nice fluent part of structure. So that's what I'm going to be doing here. So I'm going to build this down a little bit, and then have this start right here. So when the track, we're going to remove all of it up to this point right here, and we're going to take this point and connect it with that. I'm going to approach that at a little bit of a different angle so it looks a bit better. And see, what we want here is it to flow like a perfect curve in the structure, which is a little bit tricky at times. So I'm going to go like this. And see, now, there we go. Now we can curve it down, and it flows with the structure. Obviously, it's not going to be red. We're going to paint it like gray. But now we can remove this one, and we can take this and color that our light gray. And then we're going to grab our straight piece here from all the way over there, and we're just going to make that a connector there. And then we're going to do that for the other side, like right next to it, so that it covers the other part. So let's go ahead and do that. Turn off our auto smooth to the left a little bit. Turn it back on. We're going to curve it down just a little bit, like that. Line it up to there, and curve it down. Doesn't have to be perfect, because you'll just get the general idea that you see the structure. I'm going to mess with this a little bit so that it lines up nice, and I'll resume when I got it. Okay, so now we have the lift and drop part, but you're probably thinking, that looks very odd, and I'll tell you why, because we don't have the middle support. So what we're going to do is we're just going to take our pieces and mark around where the support's going to be, which I think is going to be here or here, depending on what we're going to do here. So what I'm going to have on this ride is a 0G stall. So on Zadra and Goliath, they have the stall that goes through the structure and hangs over just like that. That's what I'm going to be doing. So I need to mark that off where I'm going to do that. So basically what you do is you're just going to take 2, 2, and then you're going to do however many flat you want. 2 and 2 like that, and that gets you with a nice 0G style structure. Just like that, and you can start it wherever you want in the lift hill as long as it's not too high or too low. I'm actually going to lower that just a little bit. I'm going to do it in the middle. I know, I'm very indecisive. And we're just going to get rid of this part, like that. Alright, and then we're going to get rid of, actually no, that's the piece we need, dang it. Alright, we're just going to get rid of those 2 pieces and make our structure. I'll do it one more. Whoa, and we're getting some lag here. That's okay. Alright, now we're just going to take our piece and we're going to build it across like that. And then we're going to put our cross ties on, just like how we did with this lift hill. Just going to put cross, 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 all the way along. And then we're going to get our pillars, just like the skinny normal poles. And we're going to build them so that it's a square box, the structure, just like that. And then we're going to take our other pieces, these ones, and we're going to build it up. So we're just going to connect all the bottoms to fill them up, like that. And then we're going to get these guys here and build them across, and then put all of our cross ties for the bottom. And as you can see, we got a pretty good 0G stall structure there. It looks good, and then it looks like we're doing our other support right there so that it connects to the other side of this. So we're just going to build this down exactly how we did that one. So I'm going to go ahead and make this support all the way to the ground. Okay, now we got that support in, and now we have this part, and then we're going to add one more support all the way towards the bottom here. And this one is just super short, and we're just going to have it right up against the ground like this. Build all the way up. Do that on all of our sides. Alright, and now we have our steel lift structure, so that's pretty good. And now the only thing left is to add our footers. So these footers get a little bit large, but that's okay because they're supposed to be. And we're going to do just like that, except leave those 2 parts off, just like that. So we're going to do here, here, and then just build off on these corners there, because we have to thicken our structure. And you're probably like, what the heck does that mean? So basically what that means is we're going to give our structure extra support that comes out from this side and this side on either support. And I'll show you what that means in a second. So I'm just going to go ahead and build these footers. And actually, we can shorten this one so that it's just a little one, because we don't need to have the extra thickening for this guy. just like that. And then we're going to get our normal pieces and place them in the middle, just like that. And now we're going to go into, well, not go into, we're going to select this piece. And then for this one, we have to stay pretty low to the ground on both of these, actually. Because we do have that 0G stall here, we have to make sure that train doesn't hit it. So we're just going to go here like that. And then we're going to build just like we would for all the other ones, all the way down until we get into the ground. Just like that. And we're going to do that on all of these sides that we just placed those. Just like that. Oh, that was a mess up. Just place them in. And I'm going to finish placing these up. And there we go. We have our thickened supports towards the bottom. We have our 0G stall. There's only one thing left that we need to do to this stall to make it absolutely perfect. And that is we need to make this stall actually be supporting the ride when it goes through. So what we're going to do is on the side that the train is going to go past the stall, it could either be on this side, along there, which is actually what I think I'm going to do now that I look at it again. I'm just going to go do something like this. And then what we're going to do is we're just going to take these large pieces, our large ramps, and we're just going to place them all along our stall like that, so that they connect it all up and outraise it one. So what's going to happen is the 0G stall is going to come up this way and go up and be supported by these ones that come down, so that you don't have to go in through this part of the structure, so that it actually works out. And now what we're going to do is we're going to take these ones right like this and pull them down, just to do that, and add some cross ties. And then for this part, we're going to go into roofs and ceilings, scroll back a little bit until we get these guys. And these are just the sloped wooden roof trims. I'm just going to take those, I'm just going to pop them on, and then that leaves a nice suspended structure that is going to be able to support our 0G stall. So now we have our Lifthill completely finished. We can add a light package if we want, but that would be at the very end of the last episode for this RMC. But otherwise, that's pretty much it for the Lifthill. If you did enjoy and you did learn something, please make sure to subscribe and join my Discord. Link will be in the description of this video. Thank you for all the people who are actually watching my B&M Giga tutorial and trying one for your own. That means a lot to me, and that means that I am actually doing this for a purpose. So thank you guys for doing that, and I hope to see some more Steel Lift RMCs pop up around here. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.